This evening, assuming you can hear me, we are talking about, thank you, Margaret, appreciate that. We are talking about Indonesia. So that is obviously a fantastic island nation and one of the most famous diving destinations in the world. And we're very lucky to be joined this evening by dive journalist, underwater photographer, and I would say all-round good guy. So yes, Saeed Rashid. Oh. Yeah, looking truly tropical tonight, Saeed, I must say. Yeah.
Well, it's a bit cold and rainy here in sunny. Well, it's not really sunny old Bournemouth on the south coast. So I went and put my special holiday shirt on to make me feel a bit better.
Looks good. I assumed you were in the tropics, dressed like that, but you're certainly making us feel tropical. So specifically this evening, we're focusing, or mostly focusing, on an incredible area of Indonesia called the Lembeh Strait, and this is an area that's often dubbed the engine room of evolution. It's really an extraordinary area where you can see all kinds of weird and wonderful marine life. And I was, just as we were preparing for this talk, I was looking back over my photos from my last trip there. It's an area that I'm very fond of, and just thinking back to my last trip. And it brought back to me we weren't there that long, but just how many species we saw. So we had mimic octopus, painted frogfish, endemic cardinal fish, flamboyant cuttlefish, which are one of my favourite, mandarin fish, all kinds of nudibranches, just so many species that it really is a very, 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 very special place. So that's what we're going to be talking about this evening. The reason we're talking about that is because Saeed is heading there this summer to lead a trip, and he's also doing a recce over to Raja Ampat as well. So we'll tell you a little bit about that as we go through the evening. Saeed, what would you say is your most unusual and surprising underwater encounter in Lembeh that you've had?
The one that always startles me a little bit is actually here on this. Which way am I going? Is actually here on this. Oh look, my hand just disappears. It's like I'm diving into Lembeh. It's like a portal. Is this little guy over here? Do people know what this is? This one over here. It's a bobbit worm. So a bobbit worms come out at night. If these were any bigger, they would be the most terrifying thing in the sea. They're still quite scary. They can be up to 3 meters long. Yep, 3 meters, and they stick out about this high from the seabed, and they just sit there. You see those claws that they have? I've got a better picture I'll show you in a minute. And they just wait for a fish to swim over the top of it. You see what they do? They clamp onto it, and that fish is gone forever. They are a super scary thing that's absolutely amazing to see.
Yeah, and thankfully not large enough to snap up divers.
Have you ever seen the film Tremors?
No, I don't think I have.
With Kevin Bacon. If anyone has seen the film Tremors with Kevin Bacon, these are the graboids that come and snaffle people.
All right, I might check that out later. I think mine was while we were waiting for a mating mandarin fish. It was dusk, and we were just kneeling down in the sand in front of sort of a little bit of hard coral where the mandarin fish live, and just waiting there for the action to happen. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, an octopus came literally walking straight across in front of us. It was 2 inches from my knee, and I didn't even know they could do that. It was absolutely extraordinary. And I've actually managed to find, just to show people that octopus can walk. If I share my screen for a moment, then I've actually managed to find. Let's make sure I do this right. A little clip of a walking octopus, which hopefully you'll be able to see. So here we go. This is an extraordinary walking octopus.
Wow.
That you can see in Lembeh Strait, and I imagine other places, but that's where I saw it. And I mean, one of so many things. I was also quite fond of the Donald Duck shrimp. I'd never heard of that. That was that was a nice one as well.
But for those people that don't know, that's a coconut octopus, and I'll talk about those in a minute.
Very good. Yeah, he lost his coconut. I'll have to find it again. So in a moment, I'm going to hand over to Saeed, who's going to talk to us about this very special region, and as I mentioned, a little bit about Raja Ampat as well. Just before I do, I will mention that we will have a Q&A session at the end, so please put your questions on the chat or on the Q&A as they come up, and then we will answer as many questions as we can at the end of Saeed's presentation. I also need to mention that this webinar is being recorded. It's only me and Saeed that can be seen or heard, but I'm obliged to let you know that it will appear somewhere on the World Wide Web at a later date. Okay, over to you, Saeed.
Excellent. If it's been recorded, I'll have to make sure I don't swear either. So I'll give that a go. Right.
we can dub it out.
Okay, thank you very much. It might just be bleeps. Right, I actually do this every single, well, a lot. So I teach at Bournemouth at university. So I've already lost where my buttons are. There we go. Here's my button. Sorry.
The big green one.
So here it is. Not the button I wanted to press earlier. So, hello, welcome. I can't actually see the questions that are popping up. Feel free to kind of put them in there. And if there's something really urgent about one of the pictures, there will be a Q&A at the end, but Phil can always interrupt me and kind of shout out what the question might be. It might be relevant to a picture that I'm putting up. So, Sulawesi, okay? So where is Sulawesi? So if we have a look at a map of Asia, so here's Asia here, we can see the kind of loop of Indonesia. We got down at the bottom here, down by the Java Sea. And where the word Indonesia is, that's actually the island of Sulawesi. And just to the right of that, we have West Papua and Raja Ampat. So we'll talk about Raja Ampat right at the end of it. But this funny shaped island is the island of Sulawesi. It's an absolutely amazing place. I'm very lucky. I've been there quite a lot. And every time I go back, it really feels like I'm coming home. The people are unbelievably friendly, and I feel really at home there. So if we have a look at the island of Sulawesi, it's a very, very large island. I have been told, I haven't done it, but I do want to do it at some point. If you drive from the north at Manado all the way down to the bottom, it's about 2 days. So it's a very big, long island. You can dive throughout of it, but most of the diving we know of is up in this northern part up here. And the area that we're going to be diving, so this is the northern part here, is Lembeh Strait, which is the water strait between the main island and that of Lembeh Island itself. So the resort that we're going to be staying at is one of my favorites. It's on the mainland side to the north of Lembeh Strait, and here's a drone picture of mine just to kind of show you where that is. Actually, let me just skip back to that last picture into this one. We can see where this area is. So Lembeh Strait is this long strait down here, and near the bottom you've got the port of Bintung. Okay, and that's quite important to remember when we come to kind of the other things I'm going to talk about. So dive into Lembeh is near the northern part of the strait. Here's another picture of it here. This is a picture I took on my last trip. So down at the bottom to the right hand side, this is all the kind of mangrove areas, and then off to the right, that's open ocean. So Lembeh Strait itself is very close to the open ocean. That means the water there is much bluer and much cleaner than the rest of the strait, because it is to the south of this, it is a working port. And down there, it does get quite mucky, but that's nothing to be worried about. And I'll talk about that in a minute. Oh, here we go. There's another picture of dive into Lembeh. You can see the reef here. You can walk straight off the beach onto the reef. It's got an amazing house reef there. It's actually right next to one of the most famous reefs within Lembeh called Hairball. Okay, so that's an amazing reef there. What's nice about this resort is briefings can be done very easily on the beach, and that's it's a beach life. So we're sitting there, we work off the beach, we can zoom to most of the dive sites. Now there are, if you look inside the dive books, they say that there's about 100 named dive sites. I think there's a few more than that. We won't be able to go to 100 named dive sites, but we'll pick the best sites for the conditions that we're going to be diving at the time. But there's some really, really nice, quite famous dive sites in here where you'll kind of see the weird and wonderful and crazy that the area has to offer. So that's enough about that. So what do we see on the dive sites? So of course we've got these ornate ghost pipefish that live in the crinoids. They're quite a common sight. But a lot of people ask about the diving itself. Now, because of the area, a lot of your diving is on black sand, and they categorize the two dives within a muck site, which is kind of black sand, or a coral site. And we'll have a look at some of those corals in a minute, but at the moment, we're kind of talking about the muck sites. So here we are, here I am chasing or following these striped catfish. They're amazing things. In fact, I've never seen them grow so big as I do in Lembeh. These are kind of medium sized, but I've seen really kind of foot long versions of these, and they kind of swim in their thousands sometimes, and they swim along the floor like mercury, constantly sifting the sand. Here's a shot I took of the Zakia saying, so this is my friend took the picture of me there, and this is a shot that I actually took just after, signaling out some of these striped catfish. They are amazing critters, like everything in Lembeh. If you've got, the really cool thing about Lembeh is if you've got a critter that you really want to see on your must-see list, tell the guides, because there is a really high possibility that they know exactly where that critter is and can take you to it. So one of my favorite critters is the critter that Phil showed earlier, the coconut octopus. So coconut octopus, generally you can see here it's living in half a coconut shell. You don't always see them in coconut shells. You often see them using these scallop shells or any shells that they can find. Here's one that's used a pair of these scallop shells. And they're the most intelligent creatures going. They're really, really, really lovely to spend any time with. And I've been very fortunate to spend many hours with them underwater. And quite often, if I find one, that's me set for a good half an hour, if not more. Just even not photographing it, just spending time, just watching it live out its life underwater, because they're so amazing. So it's not only in these shells that they live. Lembeh is quite infamous for discarded rubbish. Okay, so we quite often see quite a lot of rubbish on the seabed. It can be man-made rubbish, it can be natural rubbish. So we see quite a lot of these beer bottles, these bintang bottles. And you can see here, the coconut octopus has taken the opportunity of the rubbish that humans make and actually hidden itself. So this is a juvenile coconut octopus, hidden itself in there, and it's using a little shell as a drawbridge. So when it sees something it doesn't like, it shuts the door and it's safe within its little bottle. So anytime you see a bottle or anything that has a hole in it, go and peer down, and quite often you'll see an amazing critter. And I've got a few more for you in a second. But it's not only bottles. So coconuts themselves. So a coconut would have a hole in it. Have a look inside there, and here we've got this little moray that's made its home inside that coconut. They just are amazing things. They'll find anything they can to make it its home. And here we have a couple yellow gobies sitting inside what is a discarded Coca-Cola bottle as well. And here's one more coconut octopus for you. Of course, plastic is an issue. So that we do see in the seabed, we do see plastic, but the critters don't care. The critters will carry on using anything it can as at home. And you can see that this plastic bottle has been down there for some time. And we've got a juvenile, so you can imagine how small that lid is of that opening of that bottle is. We've got a juvenile coconut octopus with these yellow gobies. Now, I thought this was a really lovely picture showing these guys happily living in harmony. And it wasn't until I came home and showed it to a marine biologist friend of mine and said, yep, Well, that coconut octopus is guarding its food for when it gets a bit older. So, so yeah, you see the whole life cycle going on. And just my last picture, this was taken on my last trip. So here we have one of these kind of shrimp also living inside of these bottles. So these are favourites. Every time I see a bottle or anything with a hole in it, go and look inside. I guarantee something will be living inside of it. But on that black sand, you will find lots of critters. So here's also a critter that's high up on many people's hit list. So this is a frogfish. If anyone notices, this is a hairy frogfish. Now the hairs on this are actually very small. No one quite knows how they go through the cycle. Do they grow their hairs throughout the year and shed them later on? I've never been able to find the answer for that. If someone's on the call here that knows a bit more than me, please let me know. But sometimes they have short hairs. And just show you the size of some of these things. Here I am with my big scary camera coming in to photograph a little frogfish. So that kind of gives you a bit more of a scale on how big these things are. But here it is also. Here's a hairy frogfish with lots of hair. So this guy has been out. He hasn't been to the barber yet, and he's got all of his hair flowing away. In fact, his mate's here sitting in the wind. So they quite often see them on the black sand, sitting under a nice piece of soft coral, just hiding away and waiting for their critter to pop out so they can eat it. So these are anglerfish. I don't know if in my next picture, no, it doesn't show it in this next picture, but they have an appendage that comes out over their head, which dangles a lure, and it kind of sits there and dangles that lure until an unsuspected fish comes in. And then these things strike faster than a bullet. I've never seen one, but I've seen some videos of them striking, and they are incredible. Go to YouTube and just type in frogfish eating. You'll find loads of videos. They're cool. They come in all sizes. So you can get giant frogfish, which are really quite sizable, over kind of a foot size. But if you've got good eyes, and I'm sorry to say that I'm starting to need glasses, so I don't think my eyes are as good as they used to be, you can spot the little ones. And the little ones are ultra, ultra cute, okay? They stand out really well because they're quite often orange and the sand is kind of jet black, and they stand out really well. So you've got very high chance of seeing one. And they're everywhere. So all types of frogfish, you'll be able to see them everywhere. So if you've never seen a frogfish before, this is your trip for you. I guarantee, and that's a tall word, but I guarantee that you will see many frogfish. But it's not all about black sand. There is coral, there is colour. So here we have a coral reef made up quite a lot of crinoids here. We can see some beautiful soft coral there. This is a shot of Hannah, one of my guests from the last trip. Now this is the house reef from Dive into Lembeh. So you can see that there is coral there. And the house reef is absolutely brilliant. You can go and dive that. I hope I get this right. Phil can correct me if I get this wrong. I'm pretty sure it's free of charge to dive the house reef, as long as you've got a diving package. So you can go and dive there as much as you want. I'm pretty sure. I'm 90.
Yeah. If you want to do a night dive, then it's a small surcharge.
Okay.
Yeah, but in the daytime you can dive to your heart's content.
Yeah, I had guests last time that loved this.
I love the house reef. Yeah,
I had a couple that forgo another dive just to dive the house reef because it's just so awesome. What's good about it is, you can just go and spend an hour just in the shallows at 2-3 meters and just watch everything go by. It was really quite cool. So yeah, I said, there is coral, so you don't have to worry that you're not going to see beautiful coral because it's there. It is there right in front of you. And you see beautiful crinoids as well as the mangroves. So just to the north of Dive into Lembeh, we didn't go there last time, so I'll make sure we'll go this time. There are really cool mangroves as well. It's the first place I ever saw archerfish. I don't have any pictures of them, but do you know the ones I mean? They sit right underneath the water and they squirt a water shot up into the branches to dislodge insects and things. I always imagined they were tiny, but these things are huge.
Oh wow! No,
yeah, they're really, really cool to see.
I'm gonna chip in here, Said, with a question from Darren, just because it's on topic for the mangroves.
Yeah, go.
So Darren's already due to dive into Lembeh. He's heard that there are saltwater crocs in those mangroves. I've not heard that. Have you?
I have never heard that before.
No.
It doesn't mean they're not there. I've dived those mangroves. I've probably done 20 or so dives there. I've never seen
You've
salt.
still got all your limbs.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
well, until they disappear into these pictures.
Okay, so Darren, I think probably not that we're aware of, certainly.
But it doesn't mean there aren't any. But yeah, I'm going to say no, but I'm not guaranteeing that. Although, I still guarantee those frogfish. Right, where was I? Brilliant. And what's really cool about Lembeh and the area is it's so friendly to photographers. Now I'm leading a trip and I am a photographer. There's lots of photographers coming along, and it's a place that just allows you to take time with your photography. You're not going to be hassled to speed up to see an entire site. You're quite often left alone to hone your art of photography on whatever subjects that you can find. And quite often, if you find one nudibranch, there'll be another 3 or 4 exactly the same around the area. So what the dive guides do, if you're really into your photography, they will put you down each on the same subject within a radius of a few meters. And that way you're not hassled. You don't have to worry about upsetting the next person. It's a nice, relaxed, easy time. And what I also really love about this area is there are so many cleaning stations, and cleaning stations are one of the best ways to watch marine life. When you approach them, so whether you're a photographer or not, when you approach them, the fish will just disappear. Stay there though, stay there. That cleaner wrasse has its territory. It won't disappear from its territory. If you just wait there quietly, the cleaner wrasse will come back. It might even clean you. You never know. If you're a bit dirty or anything else, it might come and pick the odd parasite off your hand. I don't know. Got all different types here. But the fish then will come back slowly but surely. And the fish will kind of start queuing up. And if you've never spent time at a cleaning station, it's a lovely way to spend a dive. And because you're not moving, you can probably spend an hour there watching the marine life come to you. So what else have we got? Seahorses. I'm pretty much going to guarantee that you see a seahorse as well. So I'm guaranteeing 2 critters to you. And you'll see seahorses of all types. I've just realised I forgot to put pygmy seahorses in my talk. Damn. But we see spiny seahorses, pygmy seahorses, all of the 3 major types of, so a Denise, a Bejabanti, and a Pontoii seahorse. So you see all the different types. And it allows you, again, to spend time photographing them. Be careful, some of them are quite speedy, so you've got to be careful with the camera and make sure you get those seahorses. I bet somewhere here we've got nudibranch fans. I'd say you put your hands up if you're a nudibranch fan, but I can only see Phil. There you go, my hand's up. Nudibranchs. So I just want to say that picture there is on the cover, there we go, of the Dive Worldwide brochure. So just want to
possibly the finest cover we've ever had, Saeed. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much. What are you after?
Yeah.
Okay, so that picture is on the cover. So here we have this guy. It's a guy-girl, because they're both male and female, laying her eggs. But it's the circle of life. Here we have another nudibranch. Can you see 2 nudibranchs there? You see another one at the bottom?
Okay.
Yeah. And as that one is laying eggs, the other one is eating the eggs. It is the circle of life. We also get the really tiny ones, so the kind of Shaun the Sheep lookalikes. You can see how small that is. That's grains of sand. So that's a tiny, tiny little nudibranch. In fact, there are hundreds of different kinds of nudibranchs. You just need to get your eye in to be able to see them. In fact, you don't need to worry about getting your eye in, because that's what the dive guides are for. There's something incredible about the dive guides in Lembeh. They are a breed unknown to anybody else. I already said to you at kind of the beginning of this talk, if you ask them for a subject, a certain nudibranch, a certain kind of octopus, there's a very high chance you're going to find it. And I will often go down with a hit list saying things I haven't seen for a while, I want to photograph, show it to the dive guide, and they go, yeah, and they literally take me straight to it. I don't know how they do it. I don't know anywhere else in the world that has dive guides like this. They are incredible. And I'm sure there's some people on this call that have been to Lembeh and have experienced Lembeh dive guides. They're in such hot demand. Quite often the Lembeh dive guides are poached to other areas of Indonesia. So make sure you tip them well so they stay in Lembeh. But I can't show you all the critters. There are so many critters to see. You know, literally everywhere you look, there is a different animal. And it's, you know, you just have to go there to kind of see the diversity of animals. It has one of the highest diversities, apart from our next destination I'm about to talk about, in the entire world. So, right in the beginning, Phil asked me about my critter. So this is the bobbit worm. Can you see those kind of claws, where its tusks or wherever it is here? Those clamp down on any unsuspected fish that comes within tentacle range, and they will often stick out the water. So this guy here is only about 10 centimeters out of the sand. And dive guides, what they often do is they wiggle their pointer stick a good 15-20 centimeters above the bobbit worm to try and get it to come out a little bit more. I have seen bobbit worms leap out really, really fast, speed of a bullet, and actually grab those sticks from the dive guides before they've been able to pull them away. So one top tip for you, when you are diving in Lembeh at night, do watch how close you get to the sand. It's probably one of those things, you know, we say we never want to get close to the sand because we're disturbing things. Well, if you get close to the sand, you might see one of these a bit closer than you wanted to. So that's my, I love this critter. It's amazing, it's scary, it's freaky, but they only come out at night. We also get the chance, hopefully, we didn't manage to do it last time, but hopefully this time we get the opportunity to do some blackwater bonfire dives. And I don't know if anyone here has done these. The idea about this is you go out late at night. A bonfire dive, we put in loads of torches on the reef. So lots and lots of light on the reef in one place. So as if you're lighting a bonfire, and then you just wait for everything to come to it. So it's like moths to a flame type affair. And then you tend to get, especially in Lembeh, because it's very, very deep, you tend to get lots of deep water critters, which are quite often the juveniles of a larger critter. So this is a juvenile, we suspect, of a triggerfish of some kind, coming up to the shallows to see what the light is all about, what's waking it up. So it comes to see the light, and then you get your chance to photograph it. So we get these are triggerfish. Here we have, this is a peacock flounder. So it's a juvenile of a peacock flounder. This was about just under a centimetre long. So really not big at all. Really, really tiny little critter. Some kind of cleaner shrimp, okay, comes up to kind of see what the light is as well. And here we have a couple more critters that you might be lucky enough to see. So I was told that this one on the left-hand side, I thought it was a moray, but I've been told it's a pearl, probably a pearlfish, deep water species. I still don't know. Half the time, people can't tell what these juvenile fish necessarily are. And then we've got another type of cleaner shrimp on the right-hand side. So all of these animals are possible to see on one of these black fire dives, even on a night dive. I remember, and I think the person, my guest is on the call here as well. we were at another Indonesian site in Komodo. We did a night dive. The night dive, we were seeing these things just in a night dive. It's so rich. The whole of Indonesia is so rich, full of critters. Get your torch out there. These things rush to it, and they're amazing. And that kind of ends my little bit about Lembeh. But we've got, you know, quite a few nights in Lembeh. We have the opportunity to add to this and take a short flight. Is it 80 minutes, Phil? Do you know?
I'm not actually sure.
I think it's only an hour.
Yeah, I would say that's maximum. It's not a huge distance, is it?
Yeah, it's kind of really short. So we take a flight from Manado in North Sulawesi, and we fly over to Sorong, which is the gateway of probably the most impressive, one of the most impressive regions in Indonesia, which is Raja Ampat. Okay. I'm going there for the first time, so I'm kind of investigating the area. So I don't have lots of my own pictures, I'm afraid, to show you, but I just want to give you a taste of the place, taste of what we're going to see. I put these pictures in just to show you. We're going to dive into. So we were at dive into Lembeh. We're now at dive into Raja. Okay, and the resort has these amazing rooms. I was sent these pictures the other day by the owner, right on the beach. So you can see no longer is this black sand. We have nice white, pearly, beautiful sand. These rooms also have an incredible view in the evening. You can open up those doors and look out into the still beautiful seas. I can't wait to see this myself. And Raja Ampat is incredibly famous for its diversity and its coral and its fish. So I said, these aren't my pictures, so I borrowed these pictures from friends. So the coral and the water is generally incredibly blue. The coral is very vivid, very bright. And it's just supposed to be an incredibly diverse and beautiful area to go. So if you go and search for just pictures of Raja Ampat, you will be blown away by the colours, and that's what's drawing me there for this trip. I want to go and investigate it, possibly come back here in a year or two's time and maybe do a dedicated trip here as well. But this is why we kind of call this trip the Muck and the Magic. We've got the muck of Lembeh, the black sand, the kind of slightly more darker areas, but still full of rich life. And then we've got the magic of Raja Ampat, the beautiful, beautiful colours. And I just wanted to end my little talk with just giving you a few facts, just a few facts about Raja Ampat. So the first fact I've got for you, there are only 50,000 inhabitants, 50,000 for the huge area. I forgot to note down exactly how many square kilometres that is, but it's a huge area. There's only 50,000 inhabitants. They have lots and lots of hundreds of islands all over the place, and many of them are just not inhabited. But the thing that you're going there for, or we're going there for, is to talk about the diversity of life. There are over 1,500 species of fish within the Raja Ampat area. 1,500 species. That's just incredible, absolutely incredible. But then if we add that into the species of coral, there are at the moment documented, although someone's just literally just told me just after I put this in here, they think that that's already 550, but there's 500 species of coral found within the area. And the most incredible thing that I think about Raja, we only started diving it in the 90s. So dive tourism has only been there since the 1990s. So at the moment, it's pretty much a relatively new place. We take Bali, we take we take Komodo, which is an incredible place as well. We've been diving there for years, but Raja Ampat, we've only been diving there for 30 years. And I cannot wait to get there and possibly take some of you guys with me. So that's me. I hope I've whetted your appetite for that. Please feel free to send me any emails you like. Phil, please stop sending me those emails though.
Sorry, I'll do it no more.
Yeah, I don't want any of those. I don't like seeing those anymore, thank you. But anyone else can send me any emails they want, ask me any questions after this as much as you want. So there's my email address down there, saeed@gmail.com. And I think that's me. Short, was that short and sweet? I've got no idea.
No, that was perfect. That was absolutely
Excellent.
fascinating.
So
Thank you very much, Saeed.
Okay.
Really appreciate that. I'm just going to spend a moment just sharing a video actually of dive into Lembeh Resort, to loop back to Lembeh. I don't want to spend too long on it, but just to give you a little bit of a flavour of the resort itself. So I'm just going to do that in a moment. Bear with me. Share the right screen. Okay, so if we resume our video. Okay, so this is actually a promo video for over the music. So set around this pool, and it's right on the waterline, as you can see there. The bungalows, the bungalows, the bungalows, really nice. Long house room, Okay, so there we go. So hopefully that brings it to life a little bit and gives you a little bit on the resort. And obviously we can talk to anybody that's interested in the trip a little bit more about the accommodation as well. So let's talk a little bit about when Saeed's going to be there and the trip if you'd like to join him. So Saeed will be at Dive into Lembeh Resort from the 5th to the 15th of July, okay, this year. And if you'd like to join him, it's $3,295 per person, including flights from the UK on a twin share basis. That's based on flights via Jakarta. You can fly direct, or not quite direct, you can fly from Singapore to Manado, slightly shorter route with Singapore Airlines, but Singapore Airlines flights are quite a bit more expensive, so they cost extra for the trip. So the route via Jakarta works very well. In that price, so you've got your flights, you've got your resort accommodation in the longhouse room. You get 2 dives a day, full board meal plan. You have tanks and weights. We've included nitrox for you as well, so you can extend the time underwater. Of course, your airport transfers, as Saeed mentioned, and you can see from his pictures, is a very talented photographer. So really, no matter what your level of photography, he can give you some tips to get your photography really reaching another level. He's going to give expert but very, very informal talks in the evening, just to help to enhance your experience and bring it to life. And of course, he's there throughout the trip to I was going to say provide any other services that's required, but that's probably not the right turn of phrase, is it, Saeed?
Yeah, it depends how much they pay, really.
Well, yeah, we'll say some other services. How about that?
Can I just add, thank you for that, Phil, can I just add to that, obviously what I was talking about earlier, only 2 dives a day on the boat, but we've got unlimited daytime diving on the house reef as well. And something I get asked all the time, I'm not a photographer, can I come along? Am I going to get bored by all of this? No, definitely not. Come along if you're not a photographer. It's a fantastic location. I'm not one of these photographers that will shun you if you don't have a big camera in your hands. Everybody is welcome. It's just the most incredible location, and somewhere that I've been a lot. And actually, it was one of those locations that when I wasn't really a diver, when I was a new diver, I'd always heard about in the mists of diving legend, and I've never thought I'd actually go there, but I've been there. I've been very, very fortunate to go there a lot, and it is everything that I ever dreamt it would be. It's an incredible place.
Yeah, and just to return to the dives today, so as well as the house reef that you can do in the afternoon, the resort do third boat dives as well, so you can go out on a third boat dive, either deciding ad hoc, or you can even pre-book a package with 3 boat dives a day if you want to. But this is just what's included in the basic trip. And as Saeed and I mentioned, we really like the house reef, so we'd certainly recommend a few dives on it. It's well worth it. So that's the Lembeh part of the trip. So for those that wanted to continue to Raja Ampat and explore that with Saeed, say a bit of a recce, then that follows directly on from the Lembeh trip, and that's from 1975. That includes all the domestic flights to connect everything together in Indonesia, the resort accommodation at Dive into Raja Ampat Resort, again on a twin share basis. Again, you've got two boat dives a day. The dive sites there are a little bit further away, so there's about 40 or 50 dive sites, but they're start within about 10 minutes of the resort, and then about an hour away. So there's a bit more of a range, so slightly longer boat journeys. You've got all your meals included. You've got tanks and weights. At the moment, they don't have nitrox at the resort in Raja Ampat, and you have all your transfers by road and boat to connect it together. It's a fairly remote location, so you need to head out a couple of hours on a boat from Sarong, where Saeed mentioned in his talk, to get to Raja Ampat, or to get to Dive into Raja Ampat Resort. So that's the trip. It's a small group trip, so we'd love to have as many people on as we can. Let's open it up to questions now. So anybody that would like to write a question, please write on either the chat or the Q&A. Oh, somebody's mentioned that we couldn't hear us over the. Oh, that was you, Saeed. Sorry, that didn't work. Never mind. You're on mute now. So we've got a couple of questions. So Richard asks, is this an all year round location? So yes, they are. And in fact, in the case of Lembeh, Saeed, the July period is a particularly good time. We know it's good for the weather and the diving conditions, but I understand that time is actually a pretty good time for the abundance of the critters. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's the nice mix. So most of the critters come in with cold water, but we want to be in really nice warm water. So the time that we've picked is that intermix where the cold's going away, but the critters are still there and the warm water is coming back. So it's a brilliant time to go. but it is an all-round destination. Of course, it's the tropics, so sometimes the year it might be a bit rainier than others, although we're not necessarily in the rainy season.
Very good. And we've got from somebody, we don't know their name, but in which area in Raja Ampat do we start for that trip, and what's the island that the accommodation's on? So diving to Raja Ampat is on an island called Waisai Island, which is sort of central Raja Ampat. It's actually a huge area, Raja Ampat, so it really covers a very big area, and it's around 2 hours from Sarong, as I mentioned, and you've got access there to, because the area of Raja Ampat is so large, you don't have access to all the dive sites, but you've got access to some of the really iconic dive sites in Raja Ampat, and everything from, again, more of the smaller life to manta cleaning stations and so on and so forth. We've got, so Derek asks, if you were going yourself, would you get matched up with someone else if they were going solo? So yes, that's our intention. So there are single supplements. So for example, if you're looking at Lembeh, then how much of a single supplement? Let's have a look. Then it's £350 per person. So it's actually pretty good value, to be honest. But if you're willing to share, and we have another person that's willing to share, then you can avoid those single supplements, and we'll pay you together. We do actually have somebody already booked on the trip, who's a female. So Derek, you couldn't share with them, sorry, but she's looking to share with someone. So if we've got a single female, we've already got a perfect match. And of course, if we get another male or two guys that want to share, then we'll match you up as well. Kelly asks, what shark species can we expect to find in Raja Ampat?
Shall I go with it? It's not particularly known as a shark diving location, but you will see all the normal, typical kind of reef sharks, from the white tips to the grey reefs, to the wobbegongs are quite often seen there. Carpet sharks.
I've got epaulet in my head. They're the
epaulet
walking
sharks.
ones, aren't they?
Yeah, the walking one. So the epaulet ones are the ones that can come out of water.
Yes.
And then literally walk over a reef and go to the other side of a reef. So they're always on the nature programs, aren't they? Those epaulet sharks.
Yeah. I'm not obsessed with walking animals, by the way. Just to clarify.
But it's you might also be lucky enough to see whale sharks out in the blue. Who knows? Who knows what will be there?
Yeah, but it's not, Kelly. Yeah, it's not a super sharky destination, but you do get some maybe more unusual shark species in the area. Mike asks what the current situation is regarding COVID restrictions, if any, in Indonesia. So I'll take that one. So you need to be vaccinated. So you need to be fully vaccinated to enter Indonesia. But now that's it. So as long as you're vaccinated, you can come in, and you're very welcome, and to enjoy the country without any further restrictions. If you're not, then sorry, you can't come. But I think the vast majority of people are now vaccinated. Do we have any more questions? That either means we did a very good job. Oh, Saeed, you've got a question.
Yeah, I've got a question
for you, not from you.
Oh, no, yeah, just something else I want to say. For me, when I travel, one of the most important things about the diving, and obviously the location and the chilled outness and all that kind of stuff, is the food. You can see that. We can't see my tummy at the moment, but you can tell that if you see me. The food in diving to Lembeh, and I do know I've got some of my previous guests on this call, was some of the best that we've ever had in Indonesia. It was absolutely incredible. It's village food, but cooked, cooked when we want it, how we want it. It was just lovely, beautiful food, and everyone couldn't wait literally for the next meal, for the next thing to come out. We have been to bigger and more expensive and posher resorts that wasn't a scratch on the food in Lembeh. It was really, really that special. And hopefully I might have one of my Oh yeah, there we go. Roger's
endorsing you, the food.
Yeah,
Thank you, Roger.
So Roger came with us last time, and he has endorsed the excellent food. If
Yeah.
we literally left that place going, oh my god, we missed the food so much. It was so good. So for me, that's a really important thing. And they also, for those people that might have intolerances and allergies, they can work with most people, but do let them know. It's just so they're okay, but they can do most things, but just give them a warning.
Yeah, super. Very good. Okay, so it's a wrap then if we've got no more questions. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. We will follow up with everybody and send you full details of the trip, and we look forward to welcoming as many of you as possible. To finish up, just to say a big thank you from me to you, Saeed, for your excellent presentation and your time this evening. We really appreciate it. And to everybody else, thank you very much for joining, and we wish you a wonderful evening. And there we go. Saeed's just popped his email on the chat, which I think everyone can see.
So it's just there. If you want to email me, please just go ahead and email me. And again, Phil, stop emailing me.
Yes, I promise I won't email you anymore unless I've got trip questions.
Oh yeah, of course that's fine.
Super. Okay, then it leaves us to say, if I can go on to the next slide, trying to go on to the next one to say thank you to everybody. There we go. Thank you. Wish you a good evening, and we look forward to seeing you either on this trip or on our next Zoom presentation. Good night, everyone.